5,000 light-years away from Earth, in the constellation Vela, sits a strange-looking planetary nebula that looks a little like an enormous brain floating in space. Its nickname, exposed cranium, comes from the nebula's resemblance to a brain located inside a transparent skull. This appearance is made possible by a distinct dark lane running vertically down the middle of the two cosmic clouds in the nebula. The nebula, officially known as PMR1, formed when a massive dying Wolf-Rayet star began shedding its outer layers, sending gas and dust outward into space. That process of expanding shell is what telescopes see today. Recently, the James Webb Telescope captured the nebula in far more details than anyone had seen before. The telescope captured the nebula using two different instruments, and each one shows a slightly different version of the same object. One image comes from the telescope's near-infrared camera. In this view, multiple phases of a dying star's outburst can be seen in one image. The nebula's outer shell forms a pale white ring, while the clouds inside glow orange. The skull-like pale ring is from an initial ejection, mostly of hydrogen, followed by other complex mixture of gases and heavier material, seen in orange in the nebula's interior. A dark lane can be seen cutting down the middle, splitting the structure into two lobes that resemble the left and right halves of a brain. This lane could be caused by an outburst or outflow from the central star, which often materializes as twin jets bursting outward from a star in opposite directions. More stars and background galaxies also shine through in this view. The second image comes from Webb's mid-infrared instrument. Through this longer wavelength lens, the surrounding bubble shifts toward blue and purple tones, while the interior looks thicker and more tangled. The dark stripe visible in the first image fades here because cosmic dust in the nebula blocks part of the view. But its apparent role in the ejection of material at the top of the nebula is seen more clearly in this view. Less prominent is a potential twin ejection on the opposite, bottom side, hinting at a potential bipolar outflow that, with further analysis, can shed light on the dynamics at play inside. Looking at the same object in multiple wavelengths is one of Webb's strengths. Each band of infrared light reveals different pieces of the structure: gas expelled at different times, clouds of dust, and the faint outer shell drifting away from the star that created it. Observing the cosmos in various wavelengths of light provides a more complete picture of how the universe works. While there's still a lot to be understood about the exposed Cranium Nebula, it's known that it's being produced by a star approaching the end of its life. Planetary nebula like exposed cranium mark the final stages of a star's life. As the star runs out of nuclear fuel, it begins to expel its outer layers into space, leaving behind a hot core that illuminates the expanding cloud. The expelled materials from the nebula may also form ingredients out of which new stars may one day be born. The nebula was first spotted in 2013 by NASA's now-retired Spitzer Space Telescope, but hadn't been studied in much detail since then. Webb's images offer a much clearer look at the layers of gas surrounding the star. What eventually happens to that star depends largely on its mass, which is yet to be determined. It's unclear at the moment if the star creating the nebula is massive enough to collapse violently and undergo a supernova, or if it will evolve quietly into a dense white dwarf once it has shed all its outer layers. Either way, the glowing shell around PMR1 will continue expanding for thousands of years, slowly thinning out until it fades into the surrounding galaxy.